Awesome. Okay, so we are recording. This is going to be our 7 habits of effective leaders. And I'll be honest, this afternoon I was ready to put an 8th and a 9th habit in, but I just kind of got them in there with the 7 because, you know, I already said it was 7, so it's going to be 7. So I have PowerPoint to share with y'all, and when I share a PowerPoint, I cannot see anything if you chat, so just know that I can't see anything you're doing if you're adding any chats or whatever. So if you have questions, you can chat them, but then I'll answer them at the very end. So 7 habits of effective Plexus leaders. And again, this is for anyone who has a team or wants to have a team. You're definitely never too early or too late to become a great leader. So in these, I think I said this, but in case I didn't, these PowerPoints I just put out on our team page. They're in the files section, so you don't have to feel like you have to write all this down. I wanted the majority of the notes to be there for you. If you've already printed it, you can just, you know, add additional notes to it. But this is kind of the starting point, and then we'll talk from here. So when you have a team, when you have at least one ambassador on your team, when y'all's writing on my screen, then you are a leader. And so as a leader in Plexus, these are the things that you have to learn to do. So my number one or first one is continually reaching out to people. Don't assume that if somebody doesn't reply to you that they don't want to hear from you. Or don't assume if they don't reply to you or they don't contact you that they don't need anything. It is your job as a leader to continually reach out to your ambassadors. And Liza and I would both tell you, we've learned this the hard way. We both kind of started and didn't do this in the beginning as much as we do now. And those first ambassadors didn't always feel as connected and, you know, really know what was going on. And so we both learned the hard way that you do this with everyone. What I try to do when I contact my ambassadors is I leave them with some sort of a tip. So, and I've got some ideas of tips below, but I reach out even when they don't reply. I leave them with a tip. I even reach out to my people who tell me I'm never going to share Plexus, I'm wholesale only. I still have value in those people. I still appreciate them. I still support them. If there's a special promotion, I might tell them about it, but more than likely, I'm just going to reach out and say, hey, do you need anything? How can I help you? You know, do you have any family or friends who have asked how you're feeling? Like, you know, just whatever, just something to reach out and allow them to know that I'm still there and I'm still supporting them. I do not connect with them as often as I would someone who clearly tells me, like, I'm gung-ho, I'm doing this business. So, you know, you have to feel that part out. But I don't ignore anyone, and I never want anyone to feel like I'm ignoring them. In reaching out, ensure that everyone knows how to order their products each month. That's a great tip. So don't wait for, like, constant communication back and forth. Blast a tip out to people so that they know something new. So every time I reach out, I try, and I mean, it's kind of hard for me to do this 7 habits of leaders and then be like, oh, I'm perfect at all of this. So please don't think that I think I'm perfect at all of this. I know I'm not. For everyone who's my level 1, I'm sorry. I know I'm not perfect at this. There's absolutely no doubt. But these are the things that we should do, and these are the things we don't strive to do better, and these are the things that I try to do. So one tip you could share with someone in the very beginning is how to find and order their own products. And if you don't know how a new ambassador should order their products, then reach out to your upline, or, you know, you need to figure that out. That's not what this call is about. Use your reports to share information with your ambassadors. Some of you know that I have reached out to you and said, hey, you're almost at 500 PV and it's the 28th of the month. You know, there's a big difference between 500 and 25% and under 500 at 15%. Reach out to someone if you see on the 24th of the month that they haven't had an order. Like, hey, did you know your auto shipment is going to go next, you know, tomorrow potentially? At least in the first month. I don't do that month after month, but in the beginning, it's really your job to make sure that they understand what's going on. Now, might they ignore you? Absolutely. They might ignore you. They might not do what they need to do. That's on them. But it's your job to give tips. It's your job to give suggestions. It's your job to say, hey, Melissa's going to have a great training on Monday night. Do you want to jump on with me? Or, gosh, I saw this great video and it made me think of you. Whatever it is, continually reaching out and helping them grow. I don't know why that pink is on there. Being positive and encouraging. This is huge. Do not share your frustrations with your downline. Find someone who is a sideline, which means you are equal. You are not, that person is not below you. You did not sponsor that person. or an upline to vent to. Don't allow your downline to see your negativity ever. And we're all going to have bad days. My gosh, every single one of us is going to have bad moments. Maybe, in any given week, 3 or 4 days, you got that moment that you're like, okay, deep breath, whatever. But don't allow your downline to see that. I'm not telling you to be fake, but they don't need to hear your venting. Don't get frustrated when people don't get it. And a lot of times I find that I have to repeat myself 2 and 3 times for some people, or maybe even change up how I'm telling someone something. Don't get frustrated with that. I know that it can be just email is hard to, communicate back and forth to really understand what people are saying in email sometimes. Just different, education levels, different understanding. You might read something and think it says one thing, or maybe you've read so much that day that your brain is just, saturated, you're done. And so you've totally forgotten that someone told you something or that you told them, whatever. Just, I guess just have compassion for people and just continue back. Okay, I'll just explain it to her again, Lead with a positive before being constructive. So if I have something constructive to say to somebody, I always try to actually lead and end with something positive. So I think you're doing such a great job, and you've been working so hard. Here's an idea for how you might want to change your Facebook post, or here's an idea for how you might want to deal with that person next time. But seriously, you're doing amazing, and I'm so excited you're on my team, blah, blah, blah. I'm not lying. These are totally true before and after statements. But you lift somebody up while you're giving them constructive criticism, because you don't want them to just read negative and be like, oh, she thinks I'm terrible. Oh, she thinks I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. You know what I mean? You lead them mentally down this negative road. You don't want to do that. So lead with positives, end with a positive. Always assume the best in people. Don't assume people are trying to write to you and say something nasty. Don't assume they're saying something, that they're upset when they write something. Don't assume that they're frustrated. Don't assume that they're angry, whatever it is. Kind of just always think positively and try to assume the best in people. Now, will there be people that get annoyed at you? Absolutely. There's no doubt. But don't jump to that conclusion. Instead, assume something positive is going to happen. Assume that you're going to be able to make an ambassador happy. Assume that the person is going to continue on as an ambassador and be successful. Don't kind of just be slumpy and poo-poo and be like, oh, this is going to be it, whatever. And this is my favorite. I have to live by this one. When people are frustrating you, walk away and reply later. And it doesn't even have to be that the person's frustrating you, but the situation or the conversation or just you're overwhelmed. For me, a lot of times, I have 4 kids. I have multiple special needs kids. And literally today, my Facebook Messenger is blowing up. My text message is blowing up on 2 different things. One's Plexus, one's a baby shower. And then the kids are trying to get to soccer, and my little guy's, rolling off the bed and almost fell on the floor. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so I just put everything down and just walk away. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with that right now. So that's better than blowing up on somebody when you don't need to, or just, being curt or whatever. Be available for your downline. So this is number 3, I do believe. Always comment and like your downline's post on Facebook. It's a great way to show support and be available and encouraging to people. Use phone and Zoom or FaceTime to spend time training your ambassadors. Always offer your new ambassadors, hey, when can we get on the phone? Hey, when can we get on Zoom? Or, hey, when can we meet face-to-face and spend some time training? Not everybody is face-to-face. The majority of my team is not local to me. But, I can use Zoom, or I can use FaceTime, or I can use my phone to connect with them. And it's going to be so much more you can get done in 20 minutes on the phone than 20 minutes of IMing back and forth, messages that you're going to lose a lot in those messages. So just pick up the phone when you can and just, get a conversation going. Answer your level 1 questions promptly. And I don't mean gosh, they just messaged me 2 minutes ago, I have to feel like I need to answer them. What I mean is, don't make somebody wait 2 and 3 days to get an answer. And I'm not saying that people do this. I'm just saying these are important things that when your level 1s, when you sign someone, they are your responsibility. It is your job to make sure you're answering their questions. You would never want to leave somebody hanging, not knowing how to sign a customer, how to sign an ambassador, how to whatever it is that they need to know. And you don't always have to answer questions with an answer. I try to remember to answer questions with a direction. Like, hey, go look here for that answer. Why don't you search this way for that answer? Because if you don't teach somebody how to search or how to go find the answer themselves, then A, they can't tell their level ones how to do these things, but B, you're going to have lots and lots of questions you have to answer all the time. So teach someone where to find the answers. Like, for instance, people will message me and they'll say, hey, if I need something, I'm looking for information about a product that will help with X disease. Well, I could go look it up and give them the answer, but the better decision for me is to teach them, hey, go to this Facebook page or go to your news feed and search Plexus and that disease, or Google it or whatever, and that's a better way for them to then know the next time exactly how to get it done. And train your team in the proper line of communication with their, it auto-corrected me, uplinks is uplines. Did not like that word, obviously, and I missed it. So you need to teach your new level ones, hey, when you have a question, go search it out first, but then come to me. Don't jump over me and go to my upline. And then if I don't know the answer, I will go to my upline. And don't just tell them that, tell them why. Hey, and the reason is because if you have a question that I don't know, then I need to know the answer too. And so this is going to be a great way for us both to learn. Self-development is huge, huge. Read at least 10 pages in a book every day. What's his first name? Presley Swaggerty says this in 2 different books he wrote. He says, if you read at least 10 pages in a book every day, 365 days a year, that's 3,650 pages that you will have read in a year. Which, if you think about 10 pages a day, you're like, oh, that's not going to do me any good. But 3,650 pages in a year is crazy. Can you imagine how many books you could read in a year if you did that? So you're just taking this tiny little bite out of your progression of self-development, and you're going to end up doing amazing things. Listening to audios in your car, he talks about that as well, and he says if you're doing that for 30 minutes a day, in 5 years, you've gotten as much education as a 4-year degree, which is crazy. I mean, we have a rolling university, as they call it, in our own cars if we just take the time to find the YouTube videos. There are YouTube books, like John Maxwell has multiple books that I have listened to while I'm driving. Lots and lots of people, lots of books that you can listen to, lots of videos that you can watch or just listen to while you're driving. I don't suggest you watch videos while you drive. Please listen to them. And really important with this, when you're reading books and you're listening to audios, you're looking for self-development, personal growth. You're looking for leadership books. You can look at, if you're a believer, you can look at Christian books. One of my favorite books ever was The Circle Maker, which was teaching me to be have a better prayerful life, to be a better prayer. But the important thing is when you're reading these, take notes, highlight the books, even on the Kindle or the ebooks, you can highlight them, you can print off your notes, and apply the principles you learned. I like to write my notes out. I've got them on a whiteboard behind me. I've got them up on my wall in front of me. I put them on my mirror in my bathroom. Because if I'm just going to read a book and go, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's awesome. And then never do anything with it, that's not helpful. So I have to take the knowledge and apply it and make a point of it. You really have to think, okay, how can I use this in my life, in my Plexus, in my dealing with people, whatever it is, apply the principles. Help your ambassadors turn silver. So again, we're talking about how we're a good leader of our new ambassadors. So the best thing you can do in teaching your new ambassadors to grow their business, beyond being there for them and, reaching out to them and being positive and encouraging and answer their questions, you need to teach them how to turn silver. And I say again, because we never stop turning silver. They actually call it sterling silver. I've heard it called a couple of different things. But, I am past silver, but I'm continually trying to get 3 new ambassadors every month to turn silver again. So it's something that you're continually, perpetually working on, is turning silver. But when someone is brand new, one of their first goals should be to turn silver. So teach them to always offer wholesale pricing as a preferred method of purchasing. Teach them to make a list of 100 contacts and actively contact people on that list, and teach them to make quality Facebook posts. It's really important that people learn what a quality Facebook post is. That, who was it? Was it Celeste maybe? It was somebody high up the other day that was saying, you know, you can post a picture of you with your pink drink every once in a while, and that's cute and that's fun. I think it was Alicia. And that's great, but what really triggers people's hearts, and which is how they buy based on emotion, are the testimonies, are, seeing a person who has the same issue and disease that they do and seeing how that life has been changed. That is what's really going to trigger somebody into buying the products. Seeing how your life is really being changed or how other people's lives are being changed. And they're going to want that same change. They're going to want to feel that better way that you feel or that these people in these testimonies feel. So you need the testimonies. You know, sharing product information is great, but teach your new ambassadors how to make a good Facebook post. And I tell a lot of people, feel free to just borrow what I do. Like, don't share it. Don't use the share button. That's no good. But copy and paste exactly what I do until you get comfortable. That's fine. And teach them, hey, copy and paste what I do until you feel comfortable. Or friend, Melissa, friend Liza, friend, other people on our team who you see are really active, and copy and paste what they do until you get an understanding of what a quality Facebook post is. So that's really important for new ambassadors. And y'all, huge, and it's really hard to remind people, but I know I've got a bunch of people on this call, so I'll just tell you, and then you can tell your people, and anybody else who watches this will see. It's really important that we slow down, that we take 5 extra seconds to reread what we're posting, that we make sure it has good spelling, that it has decent grammar. I'm not going to say that I'm the queen of grammar, so I'm not going to, but take a moment to make sure you have punctuation, that you make sure you have capitalization, that you're not using letters as words, because the letter U is not the word you. You know what I mean? And that's important because people look at that and whether they should or they should not, they judge what you're saying based on how you're saying it. So quality Facebook post is super, super important for everyone. And that means good spelling, good grammar, good all of that, and not necessarily just pictures of me with my pink drink, because that's fun. But that's not actually sharing with somebody what it is about Plexus that changes lives. Lead by example. Huge, huge, huge. Do not be telling people, hey, you need to post every day. And then they look on your wall and they're like, she never posts every day. Just like my challenge this weekend, which was awesome. I'm so proud of all of you who did it. But the challenge this weekend, I would never ask you to do one of those where you were listing all the things that you have had freedom from and me not do it myself. Or I wouldn't ask you to put something on your wall that I'm not willing to do myself. We're going to lead by example. If I think you should be posting on Facebook every day, you better bet you can go back through my news feed and you will find I am posting on Facebook every single day. Be a product of the product yourself. You're not going to know how products work if you're not taking them. And I'm not saying you need to take all the products, but take your products consistently because you're going to tell everybody else to do that. Drink your water every day because you're going to tell everybody else to do that. It's hard for us to be one way and then expect someone else to be a different way. It would be fake. And we don't want to be fake. We want to be real. And I know y'all do. So that's important. And then leading by example, always be actively recruiting new ambassadors yourself. So again, when I get one new ambassador and I'm teaching them to get 3 new, I need to be going out and getting 3 new ambassadors as well. I can't just tell them to do it and kind of sit back and wait for them to make my business successful. No, we want to go wide, which means we get our 3 and then we get 3 more, and then we get 3 more, and then we get 3 more. But while we're doing that, it's important to take every set of 3, and they might not come in sets, but take your 3 ambassadors and train them really well to do the same thing you're doing. Then when you get 3 more, take the time to train them really well to do the same thing you're doing. And that's how people become diamonds. And teach duplication, which is essentially what I just said. But teach your new ambassadors to learn and then to turn around and train their new ambassadors. Go through this PowerPoint with somebody and say, hey, Now that you're an ambassador, I think it's really important for you to learn how to become a great leader, because I know you're going to be building a team. And let's just talk about some of these things, 30 or 60 days in. Or shoot, I have an ambassador who this month signed her first ambassador like literally a week after she joined. And so she's a leader already. So it's hard, she's got to learn all about the products and all about the business, but she's also has to lead a team already. So this is great to turn around and say, hey, let's take 30 minutes to run through this together. Or I've been doing this for a few months. Let me teach you what I know, because now I want you to be a really great leader. Teach your ambassadors to be effective leaders. Teach your ambassadors to learn and turn around and teach their ambassadors to do the same. And this is really important too. Never think that your downline having a team takes away from you being a leader. We do not want to be managers. It's really, really important that we distinguish the difference between being a manager and being a leader. A leader wants to grow more leaders. A leader wants to see everyone on their team rise up with them and be successful. A leader wants to help others so that to get to a point where they can almost disconnect from them, and that person can raise up their own team and doesn't need you as much. So for me, my number one leader, y'all know, is Liza. My goal as a good leader, if I am, I don't know, is to help Liza to become a great leader so that she doesn't need me and her team only looks to her and they don't need me, because Liza is a leader on her own. And then I want to raise up the next person, and then I want to help the next person. And obviously, I'm trying to help multiple people at the same time. But I don't want to be needed by everybody, because that's not being a good leader. That's being a manager. And I'm not a manager. I'm a leader. And so you are too. You want to grow teams underneath you that don't need you at the end of the day, that you've taught them what to do, and then they go off and do it, and they become leaders on their own. And that's really awesome and really how people are successful. So, nice, 9:23. We have a couple minutes. I know some of you are trying to watch football games. I'm sorry I'm getting in the way of your football games. But do you have questions? Y'all can unmute yourself if you have questions, or you can use the chat. The chat might be easiest, but it's totally up to you how you ask questions on any of that, if there was anything that you wanted to know. Silence. I did such a great job. Everybody knows everything. Amazing. I'm kidding. I'm sure there are questions. Come on. Nothing for real? Oh, all right. Okay, so Renee says, I feel uncomfortable when a customer or ambassador asks about a specific detail. I'm not sure what to recommend, like what they want to fix. Okay, so I think what you're saying is that maybe, she was typing fast, that's okay. I know for when I try to talk to a customer or an ambassador, I try to get their goals from them first. So knowing someone's goals is then going to help me to point them in the right direction. I can tell you 99% of people that are my customers or my level ones start out on the triplex. Nearly everyone does their best if they start out on the triplex, getting their gut healthy, getting their blood sugar balanced. But I always ask, hey, what are your health goals? Even in wellness and in wealth is what I meant to say, in wealth. What are your goals being an ambassador? What is your dream with this? Is your dream to get 3 customers and pay for your own products? Because that's totally cool, and I can teach you how to do that. Is your dream to be a diamond ambassador? Are you doing this like I do this because I want to help more orphans to get home to families? And so that's like a dream and a goal of mine. Well, that might tell somebody, okay, she wants to make good money if she wants to start giving money to orphans, or I need a nurse care for my son. Well, I need to make some money so that I can get that nurse for my son. So knowing what somebody's why is and knowing what their health goals are is going to help to point you in the right direction. of how to help them. And definitely, seriously, almost everybody's on the triplex. I had 2 people who had iron deficiencies, like literally in the last 3 days, who joined to get the triplex and the X Factor. But almost everybody else, I start them on the triplex and then maybe move things around or tweak it after 60 or 90 days. Does that answer you? Maybe? Okay, awesome. Okay, hold on. I think I missed one already. Oh, no, I didn't. It's true we're all getting to be and need to be great leaders, but as a team, we should all be available to help regardless of level, correct? Even for different perspectives. I think I understand what you're saying. Hold on. Where are you, Benita? I'm unmuting you. Oh, please. What do you mean, girl?
If say I go to Liza and she helps me through something, and then I'm not sure if I'm getting it, or maybe I'm just thinking, well, maybe that's not what I was thinking. If I were to go to you, that's okay still, correct?
It's not that it's not okay. I think what it ends up being is, say, I think the reason, my dog's eating something in the bathroom she shouldn't be, so annoying. I think the reason it is set up the way it is because if, say, Haley now has a team of 7,000 people. Alicia has a team, she told us last night, of 14,000 people. If all 14,000 people feel like they can go to Alicia when they have a problem, that's going to be a real issue. You know what I mean? Alicia cannot do that. Haley cannot deal with 7,000 people. So they set the structure up from the beginning that you go to your upline, because your upline at the most has 40, 50, 60, 70 ambassadors, maybe 10, whatever it is. And then you have a relationship with them. Now, people, if you have an issue with something that someone says and you feel like it might be wrong, then you could certainly go to somebody else. Or if you just have a friend, like my friend Kim Martin is not on our team, but she and I bounce a lot of ideas off of each other. She's under Haley, I'm under Haley, but we're sidelines.
Okay.
And she and I discuss ideas, but I don't go to her for the same idea that I would go to my upline. You know what I mean?
Right. So it would be better maybe better to shoot a general thing out on Facebook for feedback. Yes.
You could. It just really depends on what it is. If it's a straightforward answer and Liza can give you the answer, then the appropriate answer from me is that you should go to Liza. You should not go to someone else, because that's the way Plexus is built.
Okay.
That's the hierarchy that they want. But if you're looking for more of a hey, who's used this product and done well with such and such a drug or something like that. Honestly, I would go search for those kinds of answers and not necessarily ask them. I don't like to ask questions as much as I like to go search for answers, because a lot of the questions we're going to have already been answered 1,000 times already in the Plexus Ambassador Support page, in Plexus What's Your Story, or literally on your news feed in Facebook. You can type in Plexus and whatever, and anything that's public or anything that's published in a group you're in, you will find.
Right. Okay.
I'm more of a find my answer than an ask a question.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. So, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Very good. Thank you.
All right, Melissa, most of the people that PM me are all excited until I tell them the cost and then I lose them. Okay, so a couple different things. First of all, I try to be really positive about the cost, so I don't at all try to let someone think that I think it's expensive. And I'm not saying you are, but what I am saying is that I've seen in the past where people are like, oh yeah, I know. I mean, it's pretty expensive. It's like $125 a month. And the way you present it to someone is the way it's going to go into their brain. So I'm always like, gosh, it's only $125 a month, and it is great because I was able to get off this, this, and this, and I don't use coffee anymore, and my kids don't go to the doctor anymore, and so we're actually saving money. Or I'll say, hey, for a customer, it's $125 for the triplex. But even better than that is you can become an ambassador, and with only 3 customers, you could have your own products paid for. And immediately they're like, oh, 3 customers? Okay, that's not hard. I mean, we're not talking about needing 27 customers. We're not talking about any huge number. It's all in how you present it. Now, will there always be people who think it's too expensive? Absolutely. But over time, they might change their mind, and I would definitely encourage them to get in as ambassadors and work the business a little bit. You know, just say it's not going to take you that much time to get 3 customers, and then your product's going to be paid for, and you never know where it's going to go from there. So that's how I try to approach it with people, but definitely be positive from the beginning. Other questions? Okay, good. I'm glad that it was recorded too. Yay. Any others? Going once.
Sold.
Sold. Awesome. Okay. Well,
Hey,
yeah.
so one of a person on my team had a question about if we add like an extra triplex to our order. If you add something and it's a preferred order, does it change your order and make you go back down to 1 again instead of deleting? You know, when you after you get 3, you eventually get another discount.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. So as a preferred customer, you all preferred customers get an additional discount after 3 months of being a preferred customer. So if there's a preferred customer who wants to add to or change their order and doesn't want to lose that 10% discount, the best way at this point, and it might change when some of our, obviously you guys know our computer system's changing and our back office is changing, and I don't know how that's all going to work out. But for now, if a customer wants to change their order and not lose that 10%, they should call customer service. That is the best way to do it, because if you cancel your order in the back office or as a customer in what you see as a customer, if you cancel your order and create a new one, then that starts over from day 0. They do not see that as a continuation. If you call customer service and you say, hey, I just want to change from the triplex to just the slim probio for a month, maybe you have too much biocleanse, whatever, then they will make the change, and then you continue to keep that 10% discount as a customer. So that is the difference there. So for right now, they need to call customer service, and most days it is literally like a 1-minute wait on customer service right now. A year ago, there could be days you would wait 40 minutes. Today I waited 4 minutes, and they actually had a little notice that said that it was an extra long wait, and it was 4 minutes. I was like, oh yes, this was tragic. But yeah, so on the 4th month, you get that discount. Is this on the 4th month order? Yes. Customers get a 10% discount in the 4th month.
Okay, super.
Awesome.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Okay, so if my customer orders the triplex, let's say they place another order for the block and then another order for the accelerator, is that kind of going like hand in hand with they still have to call customer service? Even if
they can order, someone can go to your website and order products. Oh, hear all that tumbling? That's stuff in my bathtub. Someone can go to your website and order, and then a week later order again, and a week later order again. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about like a preferred customer who has a monthly auto shipment. That monthly auto shipment goes out 3 times. On the 4th time when it goes out, there's a 10% drop in the price.
So each order. So like let's say on the 4th month she orders the triplex, and then she would get the 10% discount on that. And let's say the 4th month for the accelerator, she would get a 10% discount on that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but I don't know why anybody would have 2 preferred customer orders going out.
Well, because she placed her order for the triplex, but then throughout the month she's made different, like she's bought the accelerator, she's bought block, she's bought different things throughout the month. So it's not on the same order of the triplex. She's just put different orders in.
Right. So probably the only thing she has on auto shipment for every month is the triplex. Whatever she has on auto shipment is what the discount.
Okay.
Now, if she wants multiple things, she should call customer service and have that all combined into one order next month, because that way she's only paying 1 shipping, and when that 4th month hits, she would get the discount. And if you want block this month and you're only going to take 1 a day and you don't want block next month, that's fine. You can call customer service and say, hey, just send my triplex this month. Don't send my block. Send it next month. And they can, do that. They can take care of all that for you. And again, it's like a minute when somebody calls.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Last chance.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Before we go, I just want to, I noticed from a customer that when you place an order after you've already placed your original preferred order, you have to go now and click a box that says you want that shipment every month.
Yes,
I
exactly.
don't know if anybody else has had that brought to their attention.
Yeah, so once you're a preferred customer, you have something that auto ships every month, then you are going to get all your products at preferred customer pricing. But like you said, on that second order, so yesterday I bought the triplex and I made it preferred. I'm a preferred customer now. If today I go buy the X Factor, when I go to check out, there's a little box that says, I want this every month. So I could have 2 preferred orders, literally one that goes out to yesterday and one that goes out today. But again, don't do that because you're paying extra shipping. Have them combined next month into one order. But yes, that is how that works. And if you don't click the little box, then it will just ship that one time. And you're still getting the preferred customer pricing because you are a preferred customer. Just getting it a one-time order. Awesome. All right. Are y'all good? Yay. Okay, awesome. Well, have a great rest of your night. Thanks for spending 40 minutes with me, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.